And hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Point Blank podcast. Dom, how are we doing?
Yes, good. Dan, how are you?
Yeah, well, I just seen this video just now of these liberals essentially going into supermarkets and stealing food to give to food banks. A video has been accompanied by it, but it's really interesting. I think the message here is we're going to have a watch of this video, but, notice how it's never their pockets that they give from. Whether it's open borders, I want to stay at our gaff, can they stay at your house? No. We want all these people to come in, but they don't want to make a contribution to it whatsoever. And when it comes to giving to food banks, the whole point of it is giving to the food. I have no problems with food banks, right? But it's about contribution. You just walk into a supermarket and just take shit off the shelves and stick it in there. It's like the liberal mindset, right? Everything's almost like it's owed to them. Someone's taken it already.
It's like this moral high ground that says, oh, well, we're doing it for a righteous cause. So it's okay to commit crime as long as it's sort of just and it's, it's okay, morally okay in their minds.
Yeah, well, let's have a little watch of this video. But guys, before we do get into it, thank you for getting us past 20,000 subscribers. Please do hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. We've got so much content coming up for you for the remainder of the year. But let's have a watch of this. We've got Truro, Cornwall, Exeter, Devon, London, Manchester. It's all over the country. It's almost like an activist movement. Have a watch. So yeah, a movement called Take Back Power, and that's their new scheme. It's going into supermarkets and just stealing the food to give to the food banks. And as I said at the start, it's never from their pockets.
Yeah, they never want to actually have the money. They probably don't have the money to buy all this stuff, but they want to push the profits or the cost of it onto corporations because they're just faceless and nameless corporations. Nobody's hurt by corporations. Well, it's actually the fabric of society that is hurt, right? You create low trust societies, and that does not benefit anyone.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. And did you see that picture of the video, the black dude that was mocking people in London for getting their phone stolen?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, but it's down to that, right? Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was just gonna say he was holding it out, basically taking the mick out of people who get their phones stolen in London, right?
Yeah. So let's have a watch of this video. But essentially, I don't like it because they're essentially saying, he's mocking the fact that we trust each other in the city, right? So even if you did have your phone out there like this, as he's doing in this, let's watch the video quickly. Let's have a watch. So in his mentality there, he's like genuinely mocking it and going, well, you get what you wish for, right? Mocking the fact that the British citizens just have the trust to just be able to walk down the street on their phone and not have some guy there. But he's obviously from a place where, if the opportunity arises and it's there, I'm going to take. And then he's mocking us for walking around carelessly with our phones out. He's almost putting the blame onto the people that get their phones nicked.
Yeah, it's victim blaming at its finest, right? It's like, well, you shouldn't have been wearing that dress if you didn't want to be, assaulted. It's the same thing. You shouldn't have been walking around London with your phone out if you didn't want it to be robbed. Well, these are the same people that will also praise Dubai for how safe it is, right? These are the exact same people who would actually, I think it says a lot about the moral character of these people, right? Because they themselves see people walking around with their phones out as targets, as victims. So they would never do it because they think, okay, if I would steal that phone from that guy who's walking around with it open and casual. I'm going to have my phone in my pocket zipped up. But that thought never enters our mind, right? We don't think about stealing other people's phones. So that's why we walk out with our phones.
Yeah, well, I've learned now, to be fair, it comes due to sort of nurture over time that you can no longer do that in the UK. But I've been to places like Dubai, and it's actually true, the stereotype. But that's because of the people. The people that they choose to import into their country are of the best in class, and they've got no, not always best in class, but a lot of them are wealthy people and don't really need to steal and commit crime. And then, of course, the main thing is Dubai have got a massive deterrent.
Yeah, and exactly the deterrent there. If there's a massive legal consequence for theft, even if it's petty crime, that's how you create high trust societies. Before, we had deterrents, but it was more about the shame of it, right? Because if you were found to have been stealing things, it would have been small, it would have been like a local village or something, and you would have been labeled as a thief. You would have been shamed. And we need to bring back shaming. We need to bring back public shaming to people. Because in our multicultural society, it feels like we're all just NPCs, just numbers in a big machine, or some small cogs in a big machine. And there's no real social cohesion there. So, there's no deterrent for theft because they can just go back to their house and have their theft, and they still have their same friends and they still have the same communities where these things are accepted as well. I mean, I've seen it firsthand, whole friend groups in Manchester just stealing things. And, I'd literally witness this stuff, and I would be absolutely gobsmacked that all of them would be okay with it. Not only okay, but actually egging each other on and seeing how much they can see. It was from I think it was like a H&M or something.
So what were they stealing?
Yeah, so it was like sweets or something like that. But the thing that caught me off was that everyone in the group was okay with it. And not only was it okay, they were almost like, egging each other on and trying to, one up each other. And, I don't speak to these people anymore for that reason. But yeah, it goes to show when you remove like the moral compass of society, that we kind of break down into barbarianism, right? We try to like steal off each other. Everyone doesn't trust each other. No one says hello to each other in the morning. And there's no social fabric that brings people together.
Yeah. And do you think that's imported?
Yeah, I think that ideology is definitely imported because, the ideology that was birthed within the UK, doesn't have any of them factors in it. We're all from small towns, we do trust each other.
Well, you'll always get like one, like alien of the group, right?
Of course, but, we used to have this sort of moral consequence for theft and, for crime, and that was shame. You didn't want to be labeled as someone who steals, who commits crime, because there would be sort of societal shame against you. And that was almost enough of a deterrent to create a high functioning society. You didn't need strong laws there. Obviously, I do advocate for strong laws, but you didn't specifically need it just because of the societal impacts. You look at case studies like Dubai, and, they have strong laws for a reason to sort of manufacture and artificially manufacture this sort of social, trust level that is in Dubai right now. But right now in the UK, the moral consequences are declining, and we've not fixed the laws to keep up with the times.
People would say that Afghanistan has really strong laws, but they're currently the highest of the sort of sexual assault list in the UK. What do you think that's because of?
Yeah, because they come over and our laws aren't strong enough, right? If they were doing this type of stuff in Afghanistan, what do you think would happen to them?
Dead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or they get their hands chopped off. There would be serious punishment. But over here, you get a 3-year suspended sentence, and then maybe you get paid £10,000 to leave the UK back to Afghanistan.
Guys, do let us know your thoughts on both of those videos we watched in today's episode. As always, please do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for more.